Calvin Robinson, this kind of decision to create Rotherham to be the children's capital of the UK has divided opinion. Some are people saying it's a PR stunt, others it's insulting, and other people saying it's a wonderful thing because it's turning the page and allowing the city to move forward. Where do you stand on it?
I think it's absolutely shameful. I think it's an insult to those poor victims, those poor girls, the thousands of them that have been abused over the last decade, to suddenly claim that this town is a capital of culture. It is a capital of culture, yes, but not a culture we should celebrate. It's a culture of Pakistani Muslim rape gangs, to put it quite bluntly, as are many of these Labour council areas, Rotherham, Rochdale, Telford, Oldham. It's a massive disgrace, and we need to do something about it. I understand that the Council of Rotherham bid for this award and were granted it by the Levelling Up Minister. So the Levelling Up Minister and the Council both need to have words with themselves. The police, the politicians, the social services and the Council all were negligent to the point of being complicit in the cover-up of these horrible, horrible gang rape cultures, and something needs to be done about it.
Peymana, you are a Labour councillor.
Yeah, I would take great offence to say that all Labour council areas are full of rape culture.
He didn't say all.
I mean, he did. He said every. He did. He said every council that's run by Labour is an area that has that kind of shameful culture. Yeah, you did. You just said that.
These areas
that's what you just said, and I take great offence to that.
Not all Labour councils have gang rape
great. I'm glad that you clarified
that. I've got a gavel.
Do not ever misquote me.
Right. OK, I'm glad you've clarified that. But what I would say is that in 2017, the children of Rotherham were asked, what they wanted if they would be in charge of Rotherham. And they said that they would like for a change in culture, and they would like to take ownership of their town. And they said they wanted their town to be seen as a capital of culture for children. And their 30 young ambassadors have been chosen. They put a manifesto together to take that forward. Now, the Levelling Up secretary at the time, Michael Gove, has given Rotherham some funding to be able to do this. I think in line with the Levelling Up agenda, this is the right thing to do, to be able to allow Rotherham to change the perception that it's been given because of this horrible, horrible scandal. And, I have to say, my heart goes out to these young girls. But what I would say is that Rotherham is allowed to move forward and allowed to take ownership of its own future. Why would we stop the children of Rotherham from taking ownership of their own future and saying they want to become a capital of culture? And they get funding for this to be able to do this. I think one of the, if I'm correct on this thing, one of the programmes that has been created for them as part of this is a question where they've been asked, who has power over you and what do you want to say to them? And that's very personal and that's very empowering to be able to bring young people together to answer that question. Young people who've obviously been impacted by this, not if directly, but indirectly, by seeing their town being splashed over on the newspapers and this scandal being there. So obviously they want to take ownership of their area.
But don't you think it's gone a little bit from the sublime to the ridiculous? One minute you've got like over 1,000 odd children that have been really quite horrendously abused, groomed, whatever words we want to apply to it. And then literally the next chapter is we're the children's capital of culture. It's like the two extremes.
There was a police investigation that was done around all of the sexual abuse, and the people who are responsible for not taking that seriously have been able to been taken to court and the rest of it. But I think
none of them were fired, though. None of those police officers were fired.
Well, they should have been. I think they should have been, and that was the wrong thing. But I think that there's nothing wrong with allowing this town and this city to move forward.
So you think turn the page is a positive thing?
I don't think there's anything wrong with the children of Rotherham themselves saying they want to be a city of culture. I don't think there's anything wrong with them taking ownership of their own future. And I don't understand why anybody would want to stop that from happening.
So you're the second Labour councillor I've heard say this is about perception, we need to change the perception. I worry about that terminology because it's also the Labour MP that said these young girls should shut up for the sake of diversity. And that's what I'm hearing. We need to move forward, move past this. Actually,
that's wrong.
Actually, we need to fix this situation because it's still ongoing now. And actually, a lot of the people that were found in the report, like I say, the police, social workers, councillors, all these people are still in positions. A lot of them haven't been prosecuted or persecuted. A lot of them haven't been fired.
They shouldn't be in position.
They should, and they haven't.
Fired.
So we can't move forward because these young girls are still living in fear and young girls are still being abused in these areas.